And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jordan Hill. That is his first foul of the game.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Five seconds left to play here in the third. Here's Mirotic. Another one falls for Chicago.
The shooting percentage continues to elevate here in the second half.
Well, as a group, they've been harmonic since the break. In sync. Good team basketball resulting in high-quality shots.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Pacers trail by 16. And a look at the five for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. They've got Turner, George Hill out there with Ellis. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. And it's George in at the three. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's foul number 2 for him. Now Hill. There's the pick. Inside, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And no doubt last season the Bulls were clearly preparing for the playoffs. They played their rookies but added a lot of playoff seasoned veterans to that roster.
As you mentioned, the Bulls added veteran leaders last season. Pau Gasol was the notable one. 11 Bulls Clark had playoff experience prior to their postseason run a season ago.
And that's invaluable, Kevin, to have that kind of experience. I mean, having Gasol, a 2-time champion in the locker room, big, as is having almost a dozen guys who understand the intensity and the details that playoff basketball requires.
Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
What a nice play. Stole it away and took it coast to coast.
Dunleavy for 3. Rebound by Mahinmi. Pacers trail by 14. Hill passes to Turner. Kicks it to Mahinmi. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. George has got 4 assists in the game.
And, you know, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
Shot clock at 6. Gasol's shot is good.
And I want to see more of that from him. I mean, he's been passing up on his shot more than usual, even though he's hitting the ones that he takes. And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine their goal isn't just to get back.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
And there was a question of whether or not Derrick Rose would be able to get back to his former self. At times last season, you could see him back in that MVP form.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said, they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get us stops, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
All right, Doris. Hill kicks to Mahinmi. He feeds it to George. They set the pick to the paint. The shot by Turner, no good. The Bulls leading by 14. Rose with the ball. He's picked up by Hill. A leaner. And it's Chicago scoring again.
He's got to be a little embarrassed for joining the Paratroopers club on that pump fake.
The Pacers have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. He dishes it to George. It's back to Hill. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
With the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in control of this game.
And no doubt about it, rebounding is an effort stat, folks. They've been more determined than their opponent thus far.
And the rejection by Mahinmi. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
The drive by Hill. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
And really, there is no resistance defensively right now. It is just far too easy.
Chicago calls timeout.
And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Rose goes in. Here's Gibson. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. That's 12 points here for Taj Gibson.
No hesitation when he saw the space that D was giving him. That's 2.
It's Ellis on the wing, defended by Dunleavy. It's stolen by Dunleavy. And here's the fast break. Rose leading the way. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. 10 points for Butler. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Bulls?
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
And the shot is good.
They just can't miss. Everything they put up, it seems, goes in.
You know, sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield. They are certainly the bugs tonight. Nothing going their way.
And I'm not even sure that I want to be the windshield.
Maybe the windshield wiper.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And if you thought this game was over already, you're probably right.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's staring us right in the face, and we've been around long enough to know when a game is over. And this one is in that category.
Here's Ellis, and Gibson sends it back.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game. Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it, just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Bulls.
And they could do no wrong today, Steve. That's right. This was a team performing to its Clark fullest capability.
Yeah, and a very satisfying win for them, too. A game to remember, and on the other side, definitely one you want to forget as soon as possible.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Gibson. And with the way he came out energized on the defensive end in particular, getting a hand on a lot of shots, that really got them rolling.
That free throw good from Mahinmi. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Turner. Solomon Hill comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Ellis. And Ty Lawson subbed in for Hill. So he gets them both. 1:06 left in the fourth quarter. Lawson against Brooks. Can't get it to go. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Lawson with it. And Holiday picks him up defensively. Stuckey outside. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
LaVoy Allen's checked in for Ian Mahinmi.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Brooks against Lawson. Charity stripe shot. And Brooks gets it to go. And the Bulls lead by 18.
And just a terrific job of taking care of business in front of the home fans.
And, Greg, those fans had a hand in the win. I mean, they gave this team a big lift throughout the game. I thought there was great energy in the building.
The first free throw is good. Both free throws good from Hill. There's 21 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. The clock now can just run out for the Bulls. And Holiday has it in the corner. Brooks against Lawson. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead.
Well, I know you don't want to say it, but I will, partner. I mean, they're trying to run the score up here. It's plain and simple. They're trying to throw salt all in that wound.
And the line for the Bulls. One shot.
And that one falls for Brooks. 8 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Here's Lawson. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
Yeah, they were clicking